let's get it.
Yes!
Get him up out Woke up home run in a 10th inning. Let's go, throw your hats up. Look for a pick, he got it. They double teaming Trey. Give it to Trey. Give it to Jonte. Pass it over to Bogey. Bogey driving. Give it to Trey. Give it to Trey. Shoot the three. Bang! Let's go, man. Stop playing. He did not put Ritter in.
I'm
Winston
done.
Thornton.
Oh, that's mother. Just put
What's
Ritter
going
in.
on, family and chat?
For what?
Chat smash that
Why
like
would you
button.
put Ritter in right now? He know his job is done.
There's nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Oh
Let's go. Go, Dogs. Go, Dogs. Go, Dogs. Sickle.
Now you gonna make me chump. Now you gonna make me chump.
We ain't gonna tiptoe around the issues.
Remember, we don't do woulda, shoulda, coulda, what up in here.
Barbecue and mildew time. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? On this somber Monday. Appreciate you guys coming through. It is November the 17th, 2025. And man, oh man, we got a show to do. Oh yeah, man. This is the Falcon in review, man. My name is Larry, one half of the Dixon Way.
Atlanta Falcons says,
the other half.
rise up.
What's going on, family? My beautiful white Sean is the other half. We provide you guys with live commentary, all our favorite sports teams. From the Braves, the Hawks, the Falcons, the Bulldogs, even my wife Gators, also the Atlanta Dream. Yeah. We were just going to come in here and talk about how poorly we played. That's what we was going to talk about. We were going to come in here and say how our coaching staff got outcoached in the second half. You got a 21-7 lead. You're in full control of the game. And you just trick the lead off. Tricking ain't easy. But it is for this coaching staff. We were going to talk about the defense letting us down. Letting Bryce Young look like Steve Young. We're going to talk about Bryce Young being the Falcons' kryptonite as of right now. We were going to talk about Kirk Cousins having to come in. We're going to talk about this defense. Talk about Kobe Bryant looking great in the limited time he played and then getting yanked for Brooks. And Brooks was a turnstile. And we didn't adjust, and they just kept attacking him and attacking him and attacking him. So yeah, Jeff Ulbrich, yeah, you got to wear this one, bro. There was no praise going around for nobody. Well, actually, my starting quarterback, Michael Penix, was 13 for 16. 175 yards with no interceptions, no touchdowns. I don't think we were drawing it up, and we actually ran the ball on the goal line situation. So Tyler Algier had 3 carries for 10 yards, and the most underrated superstar on our team, as our coach said, but yet he's forgotten by the offensive coordinator too. I'm going to talk about that too. For the crowd that said it was Michael Penix's fault, what a great bounce back. Yeah. What a great bounce back game for him. No touchdowns, didn't put the ball in harm's way. Was moving the ball down the field. Play calling got real stagnant. Being 13 for 16, and 2 of those passes was dropped. Then the other one was thrown out of bounds because the blitz came. It was an unpicked up look from the safety. But it wasn't an intentional grounding. So learning on the job, learning, not panicking, seeing it, and then boom, coming from the right side. And that's where most of the blitz are coming from anyway. When they send extra guys, they send it from the right side, blind side. Yep, and got rolled up on, and Michael Penix got hurt. So that's what we're going to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Michael Penix getting hurt. And then the news came out today that it's a severe knee injury, and they're looking for a second opinion, but they put him on IR. I don't think people understand how significant that is. That's why I'm so somber. I could have talked about a lot of stuff. That's why I got that out of the way. But yeah, we're about to talk about a myriad of things. But let me shout out everybody that's in the chat. I got my boy Winston Thornton in the building. What up, man? Make sure you guys check out the podcast. I do. You should too. Let's go. We got ATL enthusiasts. What's up, fam? Appreciate you coming through. Benji said, too much sad news. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Rise up. Yeah, man. It's wow. My quarterback is out for an indiscriminate amount of time. A quarterback who's already had knee surgeries prior to coming into the NFL. That we all was hoping and holding our breath, hoping that this very thing would not happen so early in his career. This brings me back to last year. Oh, hopeful. Carl Thomas, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Gibby in the building. Magnificent Mod, Magic Man in the building. Magic Man says.
Magic Man Magic Wand says. Peeny Ike's out for the year. Cousins starting. How many ladders did y'all walk under? How many black cats crossed y'all's path? Y'all don't deserve that.
It's Atlanta. It's just that's what it is, man. That's what it is to be an Atlanta fan, man. What can happen badly will happen. It's just a matter of time. We all hope that it won't happen, but we know it's gonna happen in the back of our head. I mean, it happened with the Braves with Ronald getting hurt. It just happens, man. That's just the way it goes as an Atlanta fan, man. You got to have real thick skin to be an Atlanta fan, man. You really do. You absolutely do. That's why I always say, man, that Atlanta got the best fans in all the world. Because all the stuff we go through on top of, you know what I'm saying, our teams not being what we would like them to be, choking games away, catastrophic injuries, piss poor coaching, a team president or CEO that fails up, fails and get promoted. So yeah. It is what it is, huh, babe? So can't. That's a beautiful Shonda, y'all heard. When I look at this situation, man, I feel so bad for number 9, man. Kid got to live out his dream, get drafted by an NFL team. The city was behind him. There were a couple people that didn't, want Penix. And mostly it was due to his injury history. I was worried about his injury history, but I liked his arm talent. And with proper tutelage, I felt like he could be an excellent franchise quarterback. I did not know we had the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL who has no sense of building a script. We don't script anything, guys. We don't script the first 15 plays of the game. Why would we do something smart like that? We just call plays and hope it works. We got a head coach that's going to ride and die with this incompetent offensive coordinator. You got Hall of Famers and analysts all over the place saying we are poorly coached. You guys know Booger McFarland, right? Does college and pro football on ESPN. He tweeted out, the Atlanta Falcons are very, very poorly coached. Very, very poorly coached. Then he tweeted something else, guys. He said, if you take the Atlanta Falcons team and the Buffalo Bills and you take both quarterbacks and put them in the closet, he didn't say put them in the closet. He said, take them off the team. You take both starting quarterbacks off the team. Who is more talented team? I like to ask you guys in the chat because that's a great question. If you feel like the Buffalo Bills are a better team than Atlanta Falcons without the starting quarterbacks, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like the Atlanta Falcons are a better roster than the Buffalo Bills without the quarterbacks, not mentioning the quarterbacks, put a 2 in the chat. I want to see what's up. I want to see if Booger was right. What up, Drew? There's no I saw Adam Scheffler. Adam Scheffler said that it's not as bad as Michael Penix, his injury. And then Coach Raheem, I had to stomach watching him talk today because I wanted to be kind of informed on this. See if he had any news. He said that Drake is week to week. Yeah, go to mama, please. Yay. Yay. Said he's week to week. So said they're going to reevaluate him later on in the week and see if he feels better or not. But yeah, Michael Penix basically, Raheem said, what I'm telling you guys right now, he got a undisclosed knee injury. He said he didn't even know what knee it was. See, Raheem lies when he speaks. When his mouth is moving, he's lying. Okay, so I'm sure he know what knee it is, this, that, and the third. He just don't want to put it out there. That's fine. Okay, whatever. You did the bare minimum to say, hey, we got to put Michael Penix on IR for at least 4 weeks. For at least 4 weeks, Michael Penix is going to be gone. We know better, okay? They're going to look for a second opinion. That means that, look, man, look. Best case scenario, he isn't gonna he can come back around this time next year. I mean, normally when them knee injuries happen like that, especially since he done had knee injuries before, I can't imagine him coming back faster than Kirk Cousins did. And that was just Achilles. So we're talking about a guy who's going into his 3rd year. I feel sorry for him, man. I mean, we don't know what we're gonna do. Well, I got a feeling they're not gonna get rid of Raheem, or they would have did it already. They pretty much eliminated now from playoff contention. But to be honest, man, who's gonna come in here? Who is going to come in here when you don't have your 1st round pick? You have a quarterback that's 30-something years old that won't be here next year. You are not gonna give him more money just to spin his wheels. Kirk don't want to be a lame duck quarterback. He want an opportunity to try to start for real and not just be taking up time because Michael Penix is hurt. Even though I feel like he's washed, Tide soap, washed, in the creek water, washed. But hey, we got the rest of the season with Kirk at the helm, so it is what it is. The old adage that's keep getting repeated. We just got to fix it. We got enough talented guys in this on this team to try to rally around each other and get it done. Even though our starting quarterback is hurt, you couldn't do it with him. The offense looked worse with Kirk Cousins come in. I mean, the only difference is we play on the center, which definitely makes me believe Michael Penix cannot play on the center, like at all, because we don't do it. But then we start doing it when Kirk come in, running it, play action from under center, things that just won't happen with Michael Penix. So I think his footwork is really bad, and to the point that they didn't want to deal with trying to work it out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to deal with working it out and trying to train him with better footwork to play under center. They just said, screw it. We're going to stay in the shotgun the entire time. That's the only conclusion I can go to until proven otherwise. And even still, majority of our passes are still on the outside because we don't attack the middle of the field. Saw a couple with Drake this game. But yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm wondering if Oklahoma State even want Zach Robinson, how he is really misusing, mishandling this abundance of talent. He ain't gonna have no talent like this at Oklahoma State. I promise you that. But hey, whatever. Let's get to some more chats. Austin, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming through. Welcome to the stream. I see you. Since you have a quarterback that's injury prone, you have to have your O-line blocking for their life. Our offensive line been hurt all season. That's a part of the problem. But again, this is how you save your job or you get fired. And now I don't see how Terry Fontenot can survive this. Yeah, they're talking about on partner interruption right now. I don't see how, because the decision to get Kurt, I feel, was on Raheem. I think he wanted him. That's why, what I'm saying, he's always advocating and pushing for Kurt. I think Penix was Terry. Hey, I admit, I like Penix. I wanted to get him in the second round, but we already saw how many quarterbacks came off the board so early. He was never going to make it to the second round. He actually wasn't going to pass the Raiders. But I think the Raiders are happy with Brock Bowers. But he wasn't going to pass the Raiders. So I understand the risks. But when you sit in that press conference and say, look, we picked Michael Penix because we feel like we will never be in the top 10 again to be able to pick a franchise quarterback. We ain't coming back to this place. So we got our quarterback of the now and our quarterback for the future. That was the plan. We got our quarterback for now, and we got our quarterback for the future. Kirk Cousins get hurt last year. He plays longer than he should have because he knew once he turned over the keys to Michael Penix, it was over. So he tried to play until he saw it was actually starting to hurt his value because he knew that Penix was going to start this season. So that's why he was trying to play. How they were talking about how Penix was looking in practice, those magical practice sessions that we would hear about. I love the bounce back of Michael Penix Jr. In this game. When he took ownership of the last game and came back and played with some heart, no turnovers, was sharp as a tack. Literally, the only pass that he missed was throwing it away when they had a safety blitz. The other two were drops by Darnell Mooney. Oh, no, was it Mooney and Pitts, or it was two Mooney? Either way, I know it was two drops. Two drops and a throwaway. So now you get to the point that you wonder if Raheem is going to be retained. Oh, Stephen A was trashing Michael Penix. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it. I don't even care to see it, to be honest, but I'll probably just go back and look at it later. Austin, you can fan the way you want to fan. I'm gonna fan the way I want to fan. You have to have two teams you follow in Atlanta. Otherwise, no. I ain't built like that. So if you find with being a fan of another team, that's on you, not on me. I feel like it's coaching negligence. It's so egregious that the players and fans take the brunt of everything. Look, on that play, he really wasn't tackled that hard. I mean, it wasn't like a dirty play, anything like that. It was a standard play. His foot just got caught into the turf. That's all it was, guys. His foot got caught in the turf, and his leg bent backwards, and he knew it as soon as it bent backwards. He was grabbing his knee. It's gonna happen when you're in a dome, man. That's another thing. You as Terry Fontenot drafted a quarterback with two bad knees, and you are in a dome. Again, I like Michael Penix, but that's the risk you have to take. I'm not making millions of dollars to make that decision or not make that decision. And to come out cocky like you guys just don't understand. I want to give a benefit of doubt because, okay, I see what they're trying to do. But regardless if you play, Kirk Cousins 2 years and then let Michael Penix come up next year, you still would have been behind the 8 ball not knowing what Michael Penix was, and he could still get hurt. The chance of getting injury on the turf with a person who got two bad knees already was very high. So I can't see how Terry Fontenot keeps his job, guys. Fair, unfair. Hey, man, I got a Michael Penix. I got one on and got the one autograph, man. I believed in Mike. But there was always a chance that he could get hurt. Both can and are true. Rich McKay failing up. Yeah. I just think that Rich McKay is Arthur Blank's best friend or one of his best friends on earth. And he's not going to fire. He is the hand of the Falcons. Rich McKay is the hand. He need to get a little pen that has the hand like the little claw, little crow thing or dragon can. Whatever it was on Game of Thrones, Rich McKay should have that. Instead of that Falcon pen, he needs the hand pen because that's who he is. One of the Lannisters. ATL Enthusiast said, I don't want to see my quarterback job taken from him due to horrible play calling that doesn't fit his play style. I got you, but we're here now at a moment in time, guys, that if we get rid of this coach, Michael Penix probably not going to be on this team. Well, he's not going to be the priority. Like, All right, now follow me. Follow me. If Arthur Blank sees Terry Fontenot going to get Bijan when we needed a pass rusher, I know we got some this past draft, but still, when you make that decision to go get Kirk Cousins and get Michael Penix, when you needed other roles to be filled, wide receiver number 2, pass rusher. Well, pass rusher first. You know what I'm saying? Or linebacker. Things that we're thin at. Second cornerback. Cornerback number 2. All things offensive line, okay, before they got hurt. Top 7 offensive line in the league. So I understand not really going for that. And then you just had injuries. But again, things that were big glaring holes, we chose to get a luxury. But it was a plan to play Kirk for 2 years. And then, you play Kirk for 2 years. Then you start Michael Penix. But him getting injured can happen anytime, guys. That's what happens when you draft an injury-prone quarterback. You're hoping for the best, basically. Unfortunately, the law of percentages happen. Unfortunately. Monte Carlo says a few quarterbacks with no injury history that's out, so they can't use that against him. Wasn't hurt in Washington because he had a good offensive line. Well, I mean, look, our offensive line was hurt. When they're healthy, they're top 7. They were top 7 last year. So we can't really use that as an excuse. It just got hurt, There's the breaks. Carl Thomas. Who hires a head coach for the Falcons? Arthur Blank is the final decision maker. We use a firm. Rich McKay vets out the names that the firm puts together, and Arthur Blank makes the choice. That is what I've been told. That's the only thing I can go with. I think the constant is Rich McKay. I think I would love for my owner to adopt the Rooney way of ownership. The way we're doing it now, the blame can always be passed off of Rich McKay. Because he distances himself enough not to get the day-to-day blame, but still has his finger in the pot to ultimately affect things. And again, guys, it's no use of talking about Rich McKay. He's never going anywhere. He is, for you Game of Thrones guys, he is the hand of the Atlanta Falcons. He's not going anywhere. I mean, this right here tell it all, guys. This right here tell it all. This will tell it all. Who's right beside Arthur Blank in every major decision? of a coach or GM getting fired? Who's right beside Arthur Blank? The hand. That's why I can't be a part of the main media, man. Because I would literally address him as the hand, Rich McKay, with a straight face. We're here talking with the hand, the Atlanta Falcon hand, Rich McKay. Huh? Oh, you don't watch Game of Thrones? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm down to when you guys were voting. Okay. So Gibby said 2. Winston Thornton said roster top to bottom. Falcons got the Bills. ATL Enthusiast said 2. Carl Thomas said the Falcons got a better roster than most teams. I agree too. I agree. Hopefully hopeful. 7. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the stream. I see you. Appreciate you coming through. He said next head coach interview should have a question about 1, clock management, 2, red zone strategy, 3, never use the pistol or get fined. Ah, man. Those are some good questions, man, but I doubt that happens. I doubt that happens. I feel like when guys come to interview, and I have no insight into it, but I feel like it's more of a corporate hiring than anything. It's a conglomerate. It's a committee that gets things done. Remember, Arthur Blank felt like hiring one coach, and the committee said no, so he went with the committee suggestion, which Rich McKay's suggestion is what I can gather, and that was Raheem Morris. I really feel that hire was a buyer remorse type thing, guilt because of the way they didn't really give him an opportunity to get the coaching job when he was here initially. They were always going to get Arthur Smith. So, yeah. Yeah, because if you get someone like Bill Belichick, and I don't want Bill Belichick, I was for that before, but now that I see what's going on in North Carolina, I got enough data to say that Bill Belichick's whole career as a head coach was built off Tom Brady. Plain and simple. Because with the Browns, he was trash without Brady. All-time coach with Brady. Brady leave, he's trash again. New England in disarray to the point they got to let him go. So bad in college football, he's getting out-coached by... Now, mind you, they don't have the talent in North Carolina, but the Covers weren't bare. North Carolina was steady winning, 9 games or something like that? They just couldn't get, over the hump. So that's why they went and got Bill Belichick. And that sideshow with him and his girlfriend, I don't want any parts of that here in Atlanta. So I'm glad we dodged that bullet. There's a beautiful Shonda comment in the chat. Got to her comment. Guys, make sure you say hello to the beautiful Shonda. Okay, so the depth chart got London listed day to day. I think out of Raheem's mouth, he said week to week, but either way, that definitely gives me more hope that he'll be back. If that's the case, you're not going to get a good coach. Yep. That's not even a lie. Get a coach from the Peyton tree. I don't think none of them guys want to coach. I mean, I know they do their quarterback camp, but don't none of them coach. You know what I'm saying? To my knowledge. So I don't know about that. I need a proven head coach. Stephen A. Smith said Penix was holding the Falcons back. Oh wow. He obviously didn't watch the last game. Again, 2 drops and a throwaway. First of all, Stephen A. don't watch games, man. Stephen A. get fed information. It depends on if that person giving the information was biased or not. He even know McDaniels was black and pushing the race card. So I'm not worried about that, man. I'm not paying Stephen A. no mind. He need better guys giving him information, basically. Really out for I don't care if really out for the season. What's up, Takeoff? How you doing? Appreciate you coming through. Furball2 on Twitch asks, why we ain't fired anyone yet? Because they're not gonna fire anyone, guys. They're not gonna fire anyone. If they were gonna fire anyone, that would have been at the Dolphins game. The Dolphin game was the perfect time to fire someone if you thought you could save the season. But you looked at it and said, we can't install a new offense. Everybody else is going to do the exact same thing that Zach did. We still had a chance for the playoffs, even though we really didn't because we're poorly coached. Just like Booger McFarland said, the Atlanta Falcons are a very, very, very poorly coached team. Yeah, Mooney dropped 2. Yeah, that's what I thought. Mooney dropped 2, and then he threw one away because they sent the safety blitz. And that was an incompletion. Other than that, he was flawless. So again, just proves that Stephen A. wasn't even watching the games. He just went and looked at the stats for the season and be like, oh, it's Michael Penix. He don't even know that Kirk Cousins looked worse in the same offense. That this offensive coordinator is just horrible. So yeah. Richard. Yeah. Depends. If we keep the same coaching staff, they're not gonna draft a quarterback in the second round. If we get a new coaching staff, a new GM, you can pretty much assume that they may. A new GM and a new coach is not gonna want to be saddled with an injury-prone quarterback for their career to start. At the very least, they're going to try to draft somebody to come in here and give competition. I mean, really and truthfully, they got to do that anyway. They got to draft somebody. Or bring somebody in on free agency. They're not bringing Kirk back in. He washed. I would never draft Carson Beck. Ty Simpson is interesting, but I would never draft Carson Beck. Take off. Carson Beck is a choke artist. Carson Beck looked good against those middle teams or sorry teams. He have adversity, he gonna fold like a chair. Nah, I'm good. Lady T, how you doing? Appreciate you coming through. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I feel bad for Mike too, man, because I feel like depending on how this organization go, man, they could pivot away from Penix. No, Kirby Smart stays at Georgia. Take off. Kirby Smart is a college coach. Why would he leave the University of Georgia for the Atlanta Falcons? He is the head coach and the GM. Why would he leave? The Falcons is not a better job than the University of Georgia, guys. There's no reason for him to leave there. He's the king of college football. All he had to do is ask his mentor, Nick Saban, how that worked for him. It didn't. That's why he went back to college and became the greatest coach of all time. That's the path that Kirby Smart is on. So no need for him to come to the Falcons. He stay right back where he at. No, we don't have a first round pick because we spent it on getting James Pierce Jr. to get back in the first round. We traded the Rams our first round pick, unconditionally first round pick, for 2.5 sacks this season. Those are the sack numbers with James Pierce Jr. Which is looking like a top 8 pick right now. Now, I will say this. I think James Pierce Jr. would be the best pass rusher in this draft class. But yeah, that's just, I mean, I don't have any buyer's remorse. But I think James Pierce Jr. would be the best pass rusher in this draft. I think Tennessee really needed him this year too. So yeah. I mean, up until Penix getting hurt, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody saying that. But now, when you look at it, yeah, I mean, Terry can't escape this. And the funny thing is, he never got to pick his own coach. But going ahead and going with the ideal of getting Kirk Cousins and drafting Michael Penix, when you needed other needs, now they're going to look at, and you didn't trade Tyler Algier. You didn't trade Tyler Algier. You don't use him, and you didn't trade him. You're going to lose him for nothing. You can't afford to pay him because you're finally going to get out of salary cap hell once you get rid of Kirk Cousins. And you got to eat $10 million to do that. So, yeah. Again, guys, all of these things are added up now. If we're winning and this stuff happened, we're not really sweating as much. Why? Because this was an all-in season for the playoffs. And we're worse than what we were last year. And ultimately, that's on the coaches and it's on the GM for putting this team together. Terry can't escape that. He cannot escape that, guys. Plain and simple. The only reason I see the Falcons bringing both of these guys back, like the coaching staff and, Raheem and Terry Fontenot, is that the perception of the dysfunctional front office is so bad that we can't get a good GM or a good coach to come here. Because in our, since Arthur Blank come in, We've only gotten like experimental coaches. We didn't get any coaches with no head coaching experience. Mike Smith, no head coaching experience. Jim Moore Jr., no head coaching experience. Dan Quinn, no head coaching experience. Raheem Morris was the first one with head coaching experience, but it was so long ago, and he was inept at it before, and now he's still inept at it. So Raheem Morris technically was the head coach that had NFL head coaching experience, but he was like 15 games under 500. Now over 20-something games, under 500. He's 15 games under 500, something crazy like that. And it hasn't gotten better. So that's the only thing I can see. It's just like people just turning you down, or you putting out feelers and you're like, nah, you asking around randomly, having Rich ask around, hey, you think anybody view the Atlanta Falcons as a place of destination for one of these top head coaches or GMs? I don't know. I mean, it's still 1 of 32. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Not 30, excuse me. But yeah, let's get to some more chats. Also said Penix's injury history, along with his age, was the biggest issue with that pick, in my opinion. I think the injury history more than the age. It's a lot of quarterbacks coming out due to the whole COVID and everybody having longer eligibility in college. A lot of players stayed in college longer, especially quarterbacks. So I really don't view that like that, to be honest. This ain't basketball when guys come in at 19 years old. You feel me? Guys gonna either come in at 22 or 24. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. The injury history is what was the main reason why he wasn't a top 3 pick? The Falcons grabbed him because in their arrogance, they thought they would never be in this position again. Lo and behold, we're in this position again. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully Michael Penix comes back around the same time this year, next year. Okay. So at game 10, hopefully Michael Penix comes back after game 10 or at game 10 next season. That's being positive. They ain't said nothing either way. I'm just saying, that's speculation. You still got the same quarterback. There's going to be more cautious now. He didn't run before. He didn't run and use his legs before. We don't know how mentally that's going to affect him in the pros. Now, he came back strong out of college, you know what I'm saying, and looked well in Washington. So he does have the ability and the mental makeup to, make up for it. But again, he was a mobile quarterback before. Now he's strictly like a pocket passer now. He only runs when he's almost about to get sacked. Not when he see it open up like the sea. He's still back there trying to, scan the field. Like he don't have speed. So somewhere in the back of the mind, you got to think like that's already been there, obviously, because he don't take off initially, off of instinct. people say he don't have pocket presence. I think he do. I just might be that fear of running and getting hit. But that time he got folded up. So, and it wasn't really a bad fold up. It just, his cleat seemed like it got stuck in the turf. And we play on turf, so that's the same turf he's going to play on as long as he's a Falcon. So, if you get a new coach and a new GM, it's going to be real tough for Michael Penix to win them over. Not saying it's impossible, but yeah, if you got guys that's new, GM and head coach, they're not going to want to be saddled. They're going to at least want the option. If it comes to the point that getting rid of Michael Penix is a non-negotiable with Arthur Blank and Rich McKay, then you will have to give that GM and head coach like a 7 to 10 year deal. You will have to give them a 7 to 10 year deal off the top. They would have to get a Gruden deal, basically. They would literally have to get a Gruden deal, you know? Because if you're going to saddle me with a quarterback that I don't even know the future of, when I got to pay Drake, then I got to pay Bijan. Then, after I pay them two, his contract going to be coming up. Yeah. Then a year after that, you got these two rookie defensive linemen. You're going to have to, so yeah. The window for the Falcons to try to do anything just got literally opened up a little bit, and it should. Like a safe. I'll say I don't trust Ra as a head coach, but Uber is making strides with the defense. The last game didn't say he did. I will say the defense was tired, so the offense couldn't do anything in the second half. Mainly because they knew everything we were doing. Guys, did you notice when we were running the ball, even though Bijan had a great running game, you see how he had to dodge at least on 1 or 2 unblocked guys every freaking time. Literally, Bijan makes the first man miss. Here come everybody else. You want to say it's poor tackling? Nah, I feel like it's them knowing our playbook. It's hard to block people when they know what you're going to do. I keep trying to tell people this, hammer this point on. They get paid to decipher your offense. They good at it. If I'm sitting on the couch can call your plays, I'm sure they know what you're about to do and are attacking your offense accordingly. I also said McKay is definitely the hand. He outlives 4 or 5 Kings. Yep, and keep his place. Yep. The Kings are the head coaches, guys. Just if you guys were kind of confused about that. John Moreno, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. He said, remember Arthur Blank wanted Belichick, but no McKay. And Terry wanted, yeah. Yep. What's up, Ski? I support my team because they my team. You can fan like you want to fan. I'll fan like I want to fan. Yeah, the ticket thing. Hey, there's a lot of people defaulting on their on their PSLs. They're like, the heck with this. So it's happening already. Ski. It's happening already. I wouldn't mind Kubiak as a as head coach. I mean, it's going to be another guy that hasn't been a head coach before, but if it's a coordinator, yeah, he's probably my top coordinator outside of Josh McDaniels. Because look what Josh McDaniels is doing with Drake May. And he's had head coaching experience. Yeah, Monte Carlo, yeah, I don't want Bill Belichick at all. Raheem didn't say he was ruled out. Raheem said he was day to day. They're gonna reevaluate him later in the week. So probably around Thursday. Unless they just changed that while we've been on the stream. I don't know. I didn't look at it. Take off. You're talking about the drill that Branch does. That Zachariah Branch does with Georgia. He juggles baseballs. Pretty good at juggling too. But they throw the baseball over his shoulder and he catch it. So if he can catch over the shoulder with a baseball and only see it when it come over his shoulder, of course he could catch a football. So that's a good little drill. Armand Singh, what's up, man? He said, I say fire everyone except for Uber and the running back coach. Arthur Blank better find a good GM fast or his stadium is about to be empty. Yeah, I know a couple people that season ticket holders. They said that it was half empty, more than half empty. That's a good question. I don't think we're going to. I think we're going to fill out other spots. Obviously, you're not going to get. I mean, of course, you could get somebody in the second round, but I think we're going to go the free agent route. I don't even know who's going to be a free agent next year. I think that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to do the Mariota thing again. Not get Mariota. I'm just saying we're going to get a journeyman, basically, in my opinion. Availability is the best option. Yeah, Penix might be good, but if he isn't available and injury prone, Penix can go. Well, it ain't gonna be on him. Lady T said, I'm a Saints fan, but I enjoy watching other teams. Okay. Rich McKay wants to say, I told you so bad. Offensive line is trash. Offensive line is hurt. I don't think our offensive line is trash. We haven't had a full offensive line the entire season. Oh, yeah. I mean, I know the season is done. I mean, the season was done after the Dolphins game, to be honest. It ain't even hindsight. We saw the team was done after the Dolphins game. We saw it. We saw the season was done. So, yeah. Somebody said that Raheem is a sleeper cell for the Rams. That's why. On Twitter. They say he the op. They also said that Terry Fontenot is the op for the Saints. Yeah, those are two things going around on Twitter. So yeah, moving forward, guys. The Falcons timeline has been destroyed, man. If you're looking at it, like this timeline need to be pruned. It's just to the point like you don't know what your head coaching and your GM situation is going to be. You feel like there's no way that Terry and Raheem can escape what has happened. And the only reason they do is because you don't feel like you can get any quality guys to replace them. So it's just so you're willing to have a whole lame duck season with a lame duck coach and GM. Now, mind you, Terry never picked his own coach. So that whole aspect of it has always been kind of off-putting, you know. It's more of a corporate structure. Hey, I'm putting you two talented guys together, and you're going to make it work. All right? Okay, boss. But, I mean, you normally want a GM to build the team in his image. So, if that coach is a screw-up, you can be held accountable for it. But it's the same way with our president of football operations. Well, no, my bad, the CEO. Because now maybe Greg Beatles get fired instead of Rich McKay. When they say we got a clean house, Greg Beatles and Raheem and Terry, all them get fired, and the hand is still there. I got a feeling that might happen. Amon Singh says last year, week 10, we played the Saints, or the Aints, excuse me. Correct way to say it. Good job. We played the Aints away, and Kirk was the quarterback. He had that injury. Then the losing streak started. So this year, the upcoming week, we play the Aints, and Kirk Cousins, the quarterback. We start the winning streak. Not at all. Kirk is cooked. Kirk is cooked. It's pretty much virtually impossible for us to make the playoffs, guys. We need everybody in front of us to lose, and we got to win out. That's not happening. That's not happening with this offensive coordinator. It's just not happening. But Larry, not all quarterbacks have good seasons sometimes. I get that. I get that takeoff. I'm just talking about like if you're talking about the reference to Kirk Cousins, I mean, I just feel like physically he doesn't have it anymore. I mean, it showed during the game plan or during the game, you know? It showed. So I don't know what to say. I mean, yeah, I think the only difference is Kurt has the right or the moxie to audible and call his own plays. I don't think Michael Penix was at that level yet to call his own plays and go against script. That'll be the difference. Kirk will be like, yeah, I like that play, or no, we running something else. We'll never know when Kirk do it, because Kirk ain't going to come out and say he did it. But yeah. We start doing stuff we normally don't see, You can kind of point to that. So we'll pay attention to see if we start seeing different things that we just did not see with Michael Penix. Hamster, what's up, fam? What if we win like 5 in a row, like the Hawks? Let's start this Sunday. Our record is our record, Hamster. We are 3-7 because we're supposed to be 3-7 because we're poorly coached. We're 3-7. We're a poorly coached team with a lack of detail, with a ton of excuses and a lack of detail. So yeah, we are who we are. They keep saying, hey, we got to get it cleaned up. We got to find a way. You ain't finding no way. Yep, and they just showed Michael Penix going down. Wasn't even a bad tackle. His foot just got caught a little bit in the turf, and that was it. That's great, Hamster. And I really like that. Well, for me, man, imagining trying to win the rest of our games and hoping these other teams stumble, I just can't see it. We don't lost too many NFC games. The tiebreaker is weighed against us, man. Yeah, I mean, I thought we were officially eliminated anyway. So yeah. Yeah, again, man, I kind of feel I feel sorry for Michael Penix, man. Because if we move on from our head coach and our GM, like most fans want, I don't see how we stick with Michael Penix fully. It's kind of how the Browns are doing with Deshaun Watson. But I mean, Deshaun Watson got that big contract. They can't get rid of it. But they literally just said, nah, you could be out the whole season. They got all these quarterbacks. I don't want Kevin Stefanski or however you pronounce his name. The way he's treated the whole situation up there, not giving Shador any reps with the first team. I don't need someone as a head coach like that. That's an agenda type of head coach. I don't need him coming here. He didn't do anything good, in my opinion, there. He had Joe Flacco, who probably made him look better when they made the playoffs at one time. Made him look better than what he actually was. So I definitely don't want that dude. Shador first reps the entire season with the first team was in a live game against the Baltimore Ravens. That's crazy. And I keep hearing former quarterbacks say that's crazy, and former coaches. Rex Ryan, who was real critical of Shador throughout the season, found that out and changed his tune, was like, man, he never ran with the first team? What kind of buffoonery is that? He didn't say buffoonery, but yeah, pretty much that's what it was. So yeah, I don't know who we bring in. I like Kubiak. I like the ideal if they do keep Terry, that they get Mike McDaniel to come in here to be the offensive coordinator. I feel like that's redundant, though. To be honest, I don't think Raheem did enough to keep his job. I think we need to establish a real football culture here, and that's not Raheem. It's just not. when you come here and you base your career as a head coach on Jimmy Lake and Zach Robinson, and your refusal to fire Zach Robinson because your loyalty to him is, I can respect, stand on business, riding with your homie, but just know you ain't never getting a head coaching job again. So that's the hill you want to stand on. Okay. Little man, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. Shout out Blaine Raheem. Said bruised knee. He had a bruised knee the whole time. Had a major injury just like Mooney. Broken collarbone. Well, we know that they drafted him with those major injuries. We know that. There's 17 games in the season, Takeoff. You missing two games. You missing 2 games. I mean, maybe Kirk plays better against the Saints. That's where he got hurt. So maybe he puts it together and has a great game. Yeah, I just think that we had an expectation to make the playoffs this season. I don't think that it's going to save. I don't think the injury is going to save Raheem or Terry, because that was their plan together to get Kirk Cousins and to draft Michael Penix. That was their plan.
Red.
Here, son. Go. Little man said, at least we have a high second-round pick. I'm not mad at. I got you. But now you got to decide if you're going to get a quarterback or not. With that pick, and I want to ask you guys, with that pick, who would you draft? Would you draft? All right, so I'm going to give you guys some options. I need you guys to put the numbers in the chat. If you think we should draft wide receiver number 2, that's like a guy that can take the top off the defense, a speed wide receiver. Put a 1 in the chat. If you think we need to draft a quarterback, put a 2 in the chat. And if you think we need to draft a defensive player, that's either a cornerback or another middle linebacker, put a 3 in the chat. There's 2 different holes on defense. So that's why I said 1, 2, or 3. Defense is, either corner, or you need a big Vita Vea guy at nose tackle, at D tackle. It could be 3 of those. So defense 3, quarterback 2, or wide receiver 1. Takeoff said 2. Little man said cornerback, please, 3. Winston said 3, defense. Now, Winston, what part of the defense would you want? What part of the defense would you want? Is it corner? Is it D tackle? Is it middle linebacker? I'm kind of like in between it. Either I really think D tackle will open up this defense, personally. But you can never go wrong with a good corner, because the guys we've been putting on the opposite side of AJ been barbecue chicken. What's up, Coach? Guys, make sure you check out the Coach's Corner. Got some great content. I do. You should too. And Coach was definitely on that train about You know what I'm saying? He told me because I was like, I like Penix. But I was thinking we are going to draft him in the second round. I don't think anyone thought that Michael Penix was going to get drafted in the first round until all those quarterbacks came off the board. And the Falcons thought they were smarter than everyone. I'm gonna let Coach say it because he definitely said that.
The Coach's Corner says, remember all those conversations we had on the Waffle House that the worst thing the Falcons could do is draft MPJ because he had health issues. Well, this is why.
Well, this is why, yep. And that's why I think Terry can't survive this. Because him and Raheem came with that plan. Raheem wanted Kirk, it's obvious. And Terry wanted his young quarterback, it's obvious. Terry didn't get to draft Justin Fields like he wanted to. Arthur Smith vetoed that and got Bijan. No, my bad. He got Kyle Pitts. I mean, that's about a wash. Both of them really ain't starting quality players at their positions. One can only run, can't really throw the ball. The other can only catch, but can't run good routes and cannot block. So, yeah. Both of them are projects. But they were drafted really, really high. So, yeah. Everything's going to be, put in a microscope. Now, Terry did find a top 5 wide receiver in the league in Drake London and a top 3 running back in Bijan Robinson. Probably a top 15, top 10 running back in Tyler Algiers out of the 5th round. Jalen Walker, who's leading all rookies in sacks. And JPJ, who's one of the higher win rates on pressure rates as a rookie. But you haven't had a winning season under Terry Fontenot. And your decision to get Michael Penix when you needed other players to fill holes is coming back to bite you. And them's the facts. 3 Dirty in the building. What's going on? Appreciate you coming through. I see you. All right, Winston says draft order should be cornerback, wide receiver 2, linebacker, then nose tackle. I personally think it should be nose tackle, cornerback, then wide receiver 2. You can find a speedy wide receiver 2 in the 3rd or 4th round. Them big dog. I mean, I guess you could get a nose tackle in the 4th, 5th round, but I don't know if they're gonna be the quality of what we need. We need somebody who can be a space eater to keep these offensive linemen off our linebackers. Because they obviously ain't shedding no blocks like they're supposed to. Now, if you move Jalen Walker to middle linebacker, I know Divine Diablo got a 2-year deal, but I don't know how he's going to come back after his injury. Is he supposed to come back this week? Any word on him coming back? Yeah. Little man said, I'm not giving up on Penix. Injuries are a part of the game, and he just had his history. 3 quarterbacks from Penix draft got injured. JJ, Jaden Daniels, and Penix. That is true. JJ McCarthy was injured in preseason, never played his first season. Having the same troubles as Michael Penix. But I think he's way less talented. JJ McCarthy, I have no faith in, I don't think he had the arm talent or, the vision. He was just athletic. And we use his athleticism He had that on Michael Penix, but he couldn't really throw the ball. He really felt like Ritter to me, to be honest, coming out of college. And Jane Daniels just had a freak accident. Luckily, it was his non-throwing arm. I still ain't watched that video because I don't want to see it. But yeah, he just had a freak accident, and he's going to be out. But at least it's not his throwing arm. But he got to have Tommy John surgery. Yeah. But Michael Penix re-injuring his knee is different because he came into the league with that injury history. That's different. Also mentally, there's a reason why he doesn't run all the time. We always say, oh man, he got 4.4 speed. Why don't we use it? Because ever since those injuries, he's been a pocket quarterback, guys. That's what he is. He only runs when he absolutely has to. Because that's mentally just in his head. What is he mentally going to be after this happens in the pros? Is the new coaching staff, if we get a new coaching staff and a new GM, are they going to hitch their saddle to him? Or hitch their wagon to him? You know? Coach said Terry did his thing every year in free agency. I think that's that plus a 25 draft should keep him safe. Not Coach. Everything you said about Michael Penix and taking the risks and him getting hurt, also having Kirk Cousins on this roster, saddling them. If we didn't have Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, if we didn't have Kirk Cousins, I think Michael Parsons would have been on his team. And I think that trade would have happened at the draft. We didn't even try to get Michael Parsons because we couldn't afford it because of the contract that we had. We couldn't get rid of Kirk's contract. I think Michael Parsons is on this team and would have started the season as a Falcon if we didn't have Kirk Cousins on there. So the decision to have Kirk Cousins on this team and drafting a quarterback when you had other needs, when you let what's my dude who played for the Rams, and why am I forgetting it? Jared Verse. That's who I wanted to draft. Jared Verse. I got the video to prove it. I wanted the Falcons to draft Jared Verse. And Jared Verse is an absolute animal out there with the Rams. An absolute animal. Now imagine having Jared Verse on one side and having Jalen Walker on the other side and still having your draft pick this season. Huh? Could I interest you in that? Because the season is wrapped. Just saying. Little man said, I need a big Vita Vea in my trenches. Facts. Magic Man with a very poignant
Magic
statement.
Man Magic Wand says, you can get any player you want. If the HC and OC don't change, it's all just wasted picks.
Facts. Facts. Coaching staff is incompetent. From the top on down. Incompetent. But hey, they still employed. So they're here, at least for right now. Okay, so Winston got some information about Diablo. Diablo return window open today. Ross says it's possible for him to play on Sunday. Okay. I know you don't want to talk about Longhorn State. I know you don't want to talk about Longhorn State. I didn't say nothing slick. I wasn't even talking about the Longhorns until you brought it up. But that BTB, that ownage, that BTB was quite nice. Y'all ain't ready for it yet. Don't worry about it. Y'all a nice little program. Texas is a nice little program. They ain't ready. They ain't ready to step up. Not yet. Heck no, you don't franchise Kyle Pitts for what? You got way more needs. The money you gonna franchise Kyle Pitts for, you got to pay to get Kirk Cousins off your team. It costs $10 million to get Kirk Cousins off your team. That's 10 out of 14 million he would have commanded if you franchise him. He'll make like 14, 15 million if you franchise him. Yeah. So you can't even franchise him. Another thing that Kirk Cousins is going to ruin. So you're going to lose Kyle Pitts for nothing. You didn't trade Kyle Pitts. You didn't look. This is another reason why Terry is on the hot seat. You knew Darnell Mooney had a broken collarbone, and you didn't do anything. You kept Tyler Algier, who was probably your best chip to get rid of outside of him and Kirk Cousins. You held on to them like some Uno cards, like it was a draw 4 on Uno, and you didn't want to play it. So you ended the Uno game when the with the draw 4s in your hand. That's what you did. Or somebody hit you with a reverse and you ain't hit a reverse back. Or you had a skip in your hand and you ain't skip them. Now Tyler Algiers and Kyle Pitts can walk and with no compensation. Now, mind you, that's the number 4 pick. That's the first pick you ever picked, Terry Fontenot. And he's going to walk out the door with no compensation. That is GM negligence. That is GM malpractice. Especially getting some kind of value out of Tyler Algier when he was a 5th round pick. You're not going to re-sign Tyler Algier. You're not. You're not going to be, you know what? That was a sign of a person that was not thinking about the next year. He's thinking about, I need to keep Algier for this team because he make us better, just in case Bijan got hurt. But again, if my head coach is saying that Tyler Algier is the most underrated superstar on this team, and yet my offensive coordinator don't even use him, you should have traded him. Plain and simple. And I love Tyler Algier. I didn't even see a reason to get in Bijan, but Bijan is a way better talented running back. Just different styles. It's literally a LT and Michael Turner situation. You got two quality starters on your team. And the one you drafted in the first round is the one you're going to keep. So, yeah, those things are going to be why Terry loses his job, most likely. It's a contract year now. They should have traded him at the deadline. They should have traded him and should have traded Kyle Pitts and Algier. They was under false context thinking that they were going to win. They weren't going to win. The Dolphins game told us everything, guys. I know you want to say it's revisionist history. It wasn't. The Dolphin game literally told us we weren't going to the playoffs. It told us. We just didn't want to open our ears and hear it. Drew said, in my opinion, goals should be to get offensive-minded head coach, evaluate this offensive line, get depth there to keep building this team around Bijan, get rid of Kurt, sign a value backup in case Penix needs more time. Okay. I don't know who's going to be a free agent next year. Possibly Brissett, I guess. I mean, he's starting right now. We better not try to go out and get Murray. Kyler Murray. I think they're running with Brissett and gonna sit Kyler Murray for the rest of the season. I don't want Kyler Murray either. Another injury-prone quarterback. Don't want it, can't have him. Now I should be glad that we got Kurt. I mean, the season's over, but I think we could be watching Ritter moving forward. I mean, at this point, it really don't matter. Kirk Cousins washed. And that pick is going to the Rams. You're going to get a rent. Right now, that pick is a top 8 pick. It don't matter if it's Kirk Cousins or Ritter. The season is shot. You know, Raheem said when he got here, he said the only reason he got this job is because he said he wouldn't even be here if Arthur Smith had better quarterback play. Put everything on Desmond Ritter and Mariota. But the decision to get Kirk Cousins and draft Michael Penix, when none of it worked, is going to get both of them fired. But then again, they might not get fired just because nobody want to come here. You ain't got a first round, and your starting quarterback may or may not come back before the 10th game of next season. So, you know, who's gonna come into that mess? Unless you give him a 7 or 10 year deal, you got to give him a Gruden deal. Because that's what happened with John Gruden. He came into a mess. You had no quarterback. You had a whole bunch of bad salaries. You gave Gruden ultimate power, and you gave him a 10-year contract. That's the only way you get a reputable coordinator and coach and a GM. You got to get them 10-year deals. You want to be strapped to a coach and a GM for 10 years? If you do, you better get someone with experience. You better not get an inexperienced guy. He's trying to learn for the first 3 years. First 3 or 4 years, he's trying to learn on the job. Nah. Nope, miss me with that. Drew said also Troy Anderson, Clark Phillips. Will they be good next? Troy Anderson's gone. Troy Anderson's gone second year. Yeah, he's probably gone next year. Troy Anderson's gone. Clark Phillips the third. Who knows? He's already been passed on the depth chart. Yeah, both of them guys out of here. If they brought back, it's just for depth for special teams. You said Jared Burson would have been in drop coverage for Jimmy Lake? Probably. But I know that kid a dog. If I would have had Jared Burson on one side and Jalen Walker on one side, oh man, I got my defensive line for the next 10 years. I got my edges for the next 10 years. Or if I move Jalen to middle linebacker, either way, oh man, that would have been dynamic. We'll never know now. Also, the D tackle, his teammate from Florida State. I wanted to draft those two. I wanted to put those two together. The Rams did it. And it's paying off. I can't remember the guy's name. But the Rams did what I wanted to do. They drafted Jared Burst and his D tackle teammate. Both of them dogs. That's what I wanted. Play calling ain't changing. They are in their minds that it's all about execution. It ain't about the play calling.
Drew Griner says, but on the coach, you really have got to get the right man in the building. I almost feel nowadays you have to evaluate head coaches like players. What have they proven they can bring?
I agree with that, Drew. The problem is we got the wrong guys picking. We got the wrong guys picking. The hand is beyond reproach with Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank sees no flaw in Rich McKay. So when he's helping him with this process, picking the new head coaches and stuff like that, inherently that is the flaw. And that's never going to change, guys. So I don't know. Hopefully we get lucky. Hopefully we get lucky like Rich McKay got lucky with Tony Dungy. Who basically created that whole culture with Tampa Bay and then got lucky getting John Gruden and lucky enough to have the Raiders in the Super Bowl, and it was like practice. Because Callahan never changed his game plan. He literally was running Gruden's playbook exactly like he always would. So that was like the most easily scouted Super Bowl in Super Bowl history. Yeah, Troy Anderson going to be gone in the offseason. Can't get on the field. Waste some money and time in a roster spot. Yeah, exactly. Troy Anderson is a waste of spot. So is Beltran. Like they actually drafted Troy and then drafted somebody later in the rounds the following year in the Troy Anderson mold. Both of those guys were flops. Both of those guys are flops. So Terry, another thing, yeah. Got to evaluate all this. The Braves ditched it, and now we just need to improve the team in the offseason. Every Falcon season have us looking forward to the Braves. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, little man. I do not want. Little man said, can honestly work for the Hawks and the Falcons? No. Stan Kasten worked for the Braves and the Falcons. No, the Braves and the Hawks. And that was disgusting. It wasn't until we got John Sherholtz and he basically told Ted Turner to get out of here. I'm running things now. That's when the Braves organization turned into the Braves organization. The Braves and the city of Atlanta been cursed with bad management, ownership that put their trust in the other bad management. The Braves got it right, built the culture, and now they're one of the best run organizations in baseball going over 30 years. Over 35 years, excuse me. A staple. Matter of fact, Major League Baseball better not move the Braves to the American League. Then move the Yankees to the National League, because that's how I feel about it. You got the Braves and the Dodgers. And what? The Yankees and who would you say are the perennial American League team? And the Boston Red Sox, yeah. Now, the Red Sox ain't been that lately, but I'm just saying, teams that you visualize, American League, Red Sox, Yankees, move them to the National League. Really don't matter since it's all DH now. But still, don't do it. Do I see us trading into the first round of the draft? Kind of got to. But then again, I know that Terry would do that because if he's here next year, he don't care about no picks after, next year. Why would he? He will be GM for his life. So why would he care about it? You feel me? You said Raheem didn't call the timeouts in last year's Commander game. Told you everything you need to know about him. Yeah, pretty much. Where is that at? Give it with the 12 months. Appreciate you, Gib. I mean, no, not 12, 20. Appreciate you, Gibby, man. Hey, appreciate you. Being that member for 20 months. Appreciate you, fam. Look. Yeah, man, we're at a crossroads, man. The organization's at a crossroads. Without a first round pick, uncertainty with our starting quarterback, uncertainty with the front office and our coaching staff. We're at a crossroads, guys. I don't know how we come out of it. If we're gonna keep Raheem in a lame duck situation, Do the players that's here respect him and play all out for him? Or are they going to be starting to look at him like a lame duck coach? These are the things you have to think of with the organization now that we thought we would never have to worry about. So, yeah. All right, man, we got the Saints coming in, man. Maybe the Falcons surprise me and win this game. I don't know. It's a battle of two worst teams in this division. Battle of two worst teams in this division. We're one game ahead of them. And we got Kirk Cousins quarterback now. Hey. I know we feel like we got a better roster than them. But again, I feel like we're poorly coached. I think our talent isn't getting maximized, and it is what it is. TJ Ninja, how you doing, man? Losing London and Penix last game to injury was just on par with how the season's going. 1,000%, we are poorly coached. What's going on, Breezy? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Also, TJ, appreciate you coming through on Twitch. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. We're about to get up out of here. Hopefully, we can win. I guess it really ain't gonna affect us if we win or lose because that pick is not ours. We are playing or losing for the Rams to get a better pick. That's what's going on now. We got to find out who want to be here. They're going to give this coaching staff all the rope they can do. All the rope they can get. I know a lot of people think that Terry did a good enough job to keep his job, but I think that decision, if Arthur Blank really look at it, that decision to get Michael Penix when having Kirk Cousins, we need other needs. You can't tell me you won't want Jared Verse right now. Ain't nobody gonna say they wouldn't. Yeah, they continue to fail week in and week out as a coaching unit, but if my owner and my GM don't see them failing, then yeah. I don't feel like Terry got the right. I don't think he has the power to fire any coach since he didn't hire him. I think that would have to be a Rich McKay, Arthur Blank thing, you know? Get him up out of here. Even if Terry's saying, look, I got these guys and he's not using the guys that I got correctly. I need to get him out. I want to fire him. I don't think Terry had that power. I could be wrong. Maybe Terry just feel, like it's just a whole bunch of injuries and happen circumstance. It's too many like Hall of Famers and analysts saying that we're poorly coached to ignore this now. It's not just random fans like myself on a random podcast on YouTube, Unleash the problems. You got real talking heads saying that we're poorly coached. Oh, yeah. Go back in the room, son. Go in the room. Okay, yeah. Here you go. It's like Raheem and Zach say the same thing at the press conference every week. Well, pretty much. But here's the thing, man. People are starting to get, tone deaf to it. They get apathy instead of being angry. It was disappointment to anger, and it's turning to apathy. Once it turns to apathy, that's when the dome get empty. So, all right, we're up out of here, man. Y'all have a blessed rest of your evening. Yeah. Shout out to the Atlanta Hawks winning their 5th game in a row, showing a lot of guts, putting the city hopes in professional sports on their back. Yes, and doing all this without our star player, showing a lot of guts and glory. Hopefully, Zachary Shea will be back soon. Right now, they just said contusion on the hip contusion. Hopefully, that's all it is. He took a very nasty spill, didn't hang on to the rim, and hit the ground really hard. Walked off in his own power, so hopefully he'll be okay. Just needs some rest and rehab. Hawks play the Pistons next, guys. Huge game for the Atlanta Hawks. Pistons have been playing great, so this will be a huge test. The Suns have been playing great also. They was winners 7 out of 8 games and won 7 in a row. So that was a huge win on the road. Them guys complaining, but whatever. Shouldn't have gave up a 22-point lead. What a magnificent game it was yesterday. Yeah, no Wemby, so we dodged the bullet on that. We're going to have people trying to poo-poo that. Whatever, man. A win is a win is a dub. Let's keep winning. Let's build chemistry. So when Trey come back, we can keep rolling. But yeah, thank you guys for coming through. We up out of this thing, man. Peace up, A-Town down. Rise up. All day, every day. Peace.